Dharma, as I learned, by Prabhat Ranjan. Introduction. The English translation for Dharma is religion. To Indians, English was introduced as superior to others. We accepted what they said without any logical questioning. The translation has also been widely accepted by Indian society. If inquired about their Dharma, an Indian usually says it to be Hindu or Muslim or Christian or Buddhist or Jain or Parsi, etc. The moment they identify themselves with any of the above religions, they draw a dividing line between one set of humans with others. They differentiate among themselves in more than one way, which ranges from clothing to the way you worship and to whom you worship. This Western notion of religion is a dividing factor. Due to this dividing factor, unity is not possible, and even if a country declares itself to be secular, peace cannot be ensured. Secularism means, in Indian context, to respect all religion. It has been used as a tool to promote equality, integrity, and unity in diversity by modern-day architects of society, laws, and the Constitution. But the use of the word religion used as a base to promote unity and equality is hollow. Thus, the results are hollow. Society is unstable and of quarreling nature. A word with inherent dividing nature cannot be used as a base of unity and integrity. And, if there is no unity, clashes are inevitable. Countries in the West include separation of religion from politics as a part of their public policy. Religion and people cannot be separated. People's actions are governed by the faith they practice either directly or indirectly. When religion cannot be separated from an individual, how can it be separated from politics, which is done by the people to govern the people for the overall benefit of the people? This becomes a dilemma. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. The answer is offered by ancient Indian texts. When I refer to ancient India, do not link it with Hinduism. The people of ancient India called themselves Sanatani and referred to Sanatan as their Dharma. Let me remind the readers once again that Dharma and religion are two different things. Compared to Sanatan, Hinduism is a relatively newly coined word. As this book is not regarding Hinduism, we will shift our attention to our topic. Dharma. It has already been discussed that religion and Dharma do not mean the same. The closest word in the English dictionary to Dharma is values. Dharma is a set of fundamental beliefs which govern the lives of individuals for a happy and satisfying life, keeping in view the happiness and satisfaction of others and society as a whole. What makes it all-encompassing is that it takes care of all dimensions in which a human lives, physical, mental, and spiritual. It is universal because the basis of Dharma is universal oneness. It emphasizes practicality and realization, with the freedom to explore the philosophy as far as one can in the direction of one goal. This different philosophy gradually takes the shape and form of different paths, all leading to the same goal. The different paths are walked by people according to their nature, and a few narrow-minded among them tend to differentiate people from people based on the philosophy dear to them. These are called as different religions or sections. Thus, it is safe to conclude that all religions are a subset of Dharma. Practicing Dharma always makes us good human beings. It keeps the evil, thoughts and deeds, away from us. It has nothing to do with religion. Do not see it with the glass of religion. Religion creates boundaries, whereas Dharma says that we all are essentially one. Religious customs often give way to superstition. The philosophies of Dharma are based on logic and reason. Religion may have binding tendencies, but Dharma can only free and liberate those who practice it. One may argue that as religion is a part of Dharma, then all negative attributes associated with religion are also associated with Dharma. That is not the case. All negativity in any religion is due to the understanding of it to be the supreme and the only path to God. They don't consider them to be a part of Dharma. And, hence, those negativities never come to Dharma. Dharma is pure and eternal. Those who practice it become pure and eternal. Religions with different names come and go with time. Dharma is in no way an alternative to religion or irreligion. It is equally important to both theists and atheists. Dharma is in itself independent. Every human who believes in humanity knowingly or unknowingly follows Dharma. They call it fundamental values, and in ancient India, it was called Dharma. It is Dharma that comes with us when we come to this world. It guides the action of the pious, annihilates the wrongdoers, and goes with us after death. Dharma is our eternal companion, friend, or foe depending upon the acquired nature of an individual. When one takes birth, he has a father, a mother, a family, and other relatives. Dharma says that there are duties for every individual towards their mother, father, family, motherland, and others. It says that actions must be bounded by Dharma. The principles of Dharma have been mentioned very elaborately in ancient texts of India, motherland. Before moving ahead with Dharma and related aspects, an inquiry into considering the land of birth as motherland is must. The seeds of life inside a woman take a form, the body of which is slowly developed over months, taking all the essential things required for the formation of the body from the woman. The child, when takes birth, the relationship between the woman with the child is of a mother. From where do those essential things come to the mother? It comes from the land, directly or indirectly. After birth, the mother feeds the child until the child starts eating grains. For the rest of its life, the child is dependent on the land to grow and sustain. Isn't it moral to consider the land as one's mother, as we share the same bond with the mother who gave us birth and the land? Isn't it right? Isn't it a part of our values? Isn't it Dharma? Yes, it is. People can argue that in the era of globalization, where food is imported/exported regularly between different nations of the world, we owe it to all other lands. Their argument is genuine. Mother is not only to feed her child. She takes care of all the needs and is a symbol of love for the child. She is the security and the protection of the child. The land, which is governed by a system, provides and must provide and takes care of the needs of those who have taken birth on that land. The land having common rules for governance is a country. From the perspective of love and care, a country is similar to a mother. Mother is also a symbol of love and sacrifice. She bears unbearable pain only to bring her child into this world. Whenever we needed, she was always there to make sacrifices. Is it not our duty that when our mothers, both biological and land, get into trouble, we shall make sacrifices? Brave finds peace whether dead or alive. And the coward will not find a piece of land on the planet that he can call his own. One must be brave and be ready for sacrifices, for mothers, the symbol of love and sacrifice. This is values. This is Dharma. To be specific, it is Dharma, the values that guide duties towards mother and motherland. Analyzing the argument of globalization in the light of consciousness, people with divine consciousness always considers Earth as one and not divided among men of different races, religion, caste, ideology, dominance, etc. These people with divine consciousness are fit to consider Earth as a mother. But people with such divine qualities are rare. The consciousness of most of the people is limited. We must accept the reality and gradually try to upgrade our position from regionalism to nationalism to universalism. This tendency of all humans to continuously strive for growth in order to broaden their consciousness is called self-dharma or svadharma, the values that guide our actions for self-development. Many sages of ancient India have reached universal consciousness. Thus, it is achievable, and the simplest way is to follow in their footsteps. Whether it has to be localized or universal, there must not be any doubt regarding land as our mother. Sanatana Dharma. To present it in very simple words, Sanatana Dharma is to identify and realize the eternal relation between the created and the Creator. To be more precise, the path you walk from being materialistic to transcendental is Sanatana Dharma. It is universal and ever-existing. It is the Dharma of every human. All greats practiced it, all greats are practicing it, and all greats will practice it. Practicing Sanatana Dharma has nothing to do with countries, customs, ethnicity, or religion. If you are doubtful regarding the way of representation of God in Sanatana Dharma or the way to worship Him, then be assured that there is nothing to fear or doubt. Sanatana Dharma does not differentiate among living beings. It does not differentiate among humans because of their way of worship or to whom they worship. And Sanatana Dharma God is represented through form or without form or in all living beings. God's message is preached to the masses through sages, messiahs, realized souls, or incarnation. All different paths lead to the same goal. There is nothing to fear or doubt. No one needs to give his/her religion to be a Sanatani. And she must not give up his/her religion. This is my opinion. Identify the relation between the worshipper and the worshipped and you become a Sanatani. There isn't any formal declaration or any ritual to be a Sanatani. It is observation, analysis, understanding, knowledge, practice, and realization. It is the growth of the self. It is self-purification. This is it. A Hindu who does this is a Sanatani. A Buddhist who does this is a Sanatani. A Christian or Muslim or Jain or any other who does this is a Sanatani. Never associate the word Sanatani with any one religion. Only fools consider Earth to be the whole universe. Excerpts from Swami Vivekananda's work. The how devoted to God, the knowledge of God should be his goal of life. Yet he must work constantly, perform all his duties, he must give up the fruits of his actions to God. It is the most difficult thing in this world to work and not care for the result, to help a man and never think that he ought to be grateful, to do some good work and at the same time never look to see whether it brings you name or fame, or nothing at all. Even the most arrogant coward becomes brave when the world praises him. A fool can do heroic deeds when the approbation of society is upon him, but for a man to constantly do good without caring for the approbation of his fellow men is indeed the highest sacrifice man can perform. The great duty of the householder is to earn a living, but he must take care that he must not do it by telling lies, or by cheating, or by robbing others, and he must remember that his life is for the service of God and the poor. No father are visible representatives of God. The householder, always and by all means, must please them. If the mother is pleased, and the father, God is pleased with the man. That child is really a good child who never speaks harsh words to his parents. Before parents one must not utter jokes, must not show restlessness, must not show anger or temper. Before mother or father, a child must bow down low, and stand up in their presence, and must not take a seat until they order him to seat. If the householder has food and drink and clothes without first seeing that his mother and his father, his children, his wife, and the poor are supplied, he is committing a sin. The mother and the father are the causes of this body, so a man must undergo 1,000 troubles in order to do good to them. Even so is his duty to his wife. No man should scold his wife, and he must always maintain her as if she were his own mother. And even when he is in the greatest difficulties and troubles, he must not show anger to his wife. He who thinks of another woman besides his wife, if he touches her even with his mind, that man goes to dark hell. Before woman he must not talk improper language, and never brag of his powers. He must not say, I have done this, and I have done that. The householder must always please his wife with money, clothes, love, faith, and words like nectar. And never do anything to disturb her. That man who has succeeded in getting the love of a chaste wife has succeeded in his religion and has all the virtues. Then the duty of the man is towards his brothers and sisters, and towards the children of his brothers and sisters, if they are poor, and towards his other relatives, his friends and his servants. Then his duties are towards the people of the same village, and the poor, and anyone that comes to him for help. Having sufficient means, if the householder does not take care to give to his relatives and to the poor, know him to be only a brute, he is not a human. Excessive attachment to food, clothes, and the tending of the body, and dressing of the hair should be avoided. The householder must be pure in heart and clean in body, always active and always ready for work. To his enemies the householder must be a hero. Them he must resist, and to his friends and relatives he must be as gentle as a lamb. It is the duty of the householder not to pay any reverence to the wicked, because, if he reverences the wicked people of the world, he patronizes wickedness, and it will be a great mistake if he disregards those who are worthy of respect, the good people. Manifestation of energy. When iron is supplied with sufficient heat energy, it melts. Upon solidification, it takes the form of the cast in which liquid iron is poured. The form can be a sword or a medical instrument or pillars for a house. The form decides the usage of the iron. Sword's nature is to kill, a medical instrument saves lives, and houses give shelter. It is the heat energy that facilitates the change of state. The shape, nature, and usage of the object cast are decided by the shape of the casting. The object has to perform the tasks it is meant to. A sword has to kill, a medical instrument has to save life, and iron pillars have to support houses. Iron lacks consciousness. It is a non-living thing. It is used by and controlled by those who are sufficiently conscious to understand and use it, humans. Consciousness is not the property of the body. When one dies, the body remains, but people say that she is gone. Who is gone? People refer to something that was within the living body and not within the dead. It is the soul that people refer to. Consciousness is the property of the soul. A living person acts according to the nature acquired by him. The casting for the next body that we will acquire after death is prepared by the actions of our present life. And when the soul liberates from the present body, it enters the cast it had prepared. The new body depends on the casting. Thus, we are the manufacturer of our own body. So, if you are weak or poor or ill-equipped, it is you who did this. If you are strong or rich or well-equipped, it is you who did this. Your actions today are the future of your tomorrow. If you are acting as per Dharma, you will be rewarded accordingly. And, if you do it Dharma, you will be punished accordingly. If one is forgetful about his real identity as a soul, it is you who did this. If you know who you are, it is you who did this. The body is not the source of actions, it performs the actions. Those people who are ignorant of the soul relate consciousness with mind and intelligence. The forgetful soul thinks of mind and intelligence as the energy behind bodily actions. Doubt has to be cleared before moving ahead. God's personal form is different from our forms. God's form is the direct manifestation of God's superior energy. It is transcendental. Though we as a soul are the same superior energy, but we are manifested through the inferior energy of God, the matter. So those who worship God through form are as good as without form. But, the path you choose to worship has to be wisely chosen. If you are attracted to the personal form of God, your liberation lies there. If you are attracted to non-personal form, liberation is there. The final result is the duty and dharma. In the Mahabharata war, Bhisma Pitama was bounded by the duty to fight against Dharma. He took the side of Adharma. How can duty and Dharma be the same? Sometimes duties may become bondage. Sometimes attachment to duty may be illusionary. In such cases, knowledge of Dharma can only help one get out in such situations. Duties mean what we should do. But whether the duties are according to Dharma or Dharmasangat, it must be inquired into. The guiding principle of duties is Dharma. Dharma is broader than duties. If confused about duties, the underlying Dharma must be referred to. But, the situation is troublesome when the person has to choose between two conflicting Dharma. This situation is referred to as Dharmasankat or Dharma crisis. Let us consider a case where a soldier whose wife is ill is called from home to serve the country during the war. What shall he do? He has his duties towards his wife and also towards his motherland. Which duty is higher? One cannot say. We have to refer to Dharma and choose higher Dharma among conflicting Dharmas. Higher is the Dharma which takes us more close to God. Whenever there are choices, always choose higher Dharma. In such cases, higher Dharma becomes the only Dharma. It is liberation. Acts performed according to lower Dharma, in such conflicting situations, lead to bondage. Dharma always takes us closer to God. Actually, different Dharma is the manifestation of God in different forms. We serve God when we do our duties according to various Dharma. We serve God by serving mother, father, elders, and motherland. And, when we get expert in it, we become fit to serve Lord directly. The fruits of our labor become ripe to serve the Lord directly instead of serving Him through many others. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad 60, Sarvadharman Paratyajya Mam Ekahara. Aha tva with Makron Sarvapapebio Mokayimi Mahucha, abandon all varieties of dharmas and simply surrender unto me alone. I shall liberate you from all sinful reactions, do not fear. So do your dharma perfectly, and when the perfection is attained you must surrender all to the Supreme. This is the highest of all dharma, the surrender to the Supreme. Duties of self is manifested through body, mind and intelligence, and soul. All three are one, the self. Body, mind, and intelligence are temporary, the destructible self, the false ego. The soul is eternal, the indestructible self, the true ego. When in body, the soul, mind, and intelligence, and body must work together for one purpose. Every cell of the body must contribute to that one purpose. It is a very simple concept. The dharma of the soul is to serve God. With body there are many associated dharma which had been discussed in earlier chapters. What is the dharma of the mind and intelligence? The dharma of mind and intelligence is to control the forces of the body in such a manner so as to facilitate the body in the execution of its dharma. This is how mind and intelligence should be engaged with the outside world. Mind and intelligence must also be engaged with the inside world of ours, a relatively unexplored world. This gives the mind and intelligence the required strength to face the outside world with peace and tranquility inside. It is very important. Many do it through worship, meditation, mantras, penance, seclusion, renunciation, etc. Controlling the forces of the body through the effective use of mind and intelligence as a tool is not an easy task. Not only the ordinary men but invincible warriors like Arjuna had himself accepted in front of Lord Krishna that controlling the mind is as difficult as controlling the wind. Indeed it is, as was declared by Lord Krishna himself. Some yogi prefers Raja Yoga to control the forces of the body first and then gradually the mind starts coming into control. Some prefer meditation on mantras and repeated chanting of mantras. Some just do their respective dharma. And, by the constant discharge of the Dharma, such men attain perfection at last. There have been many legendary great men and women who attained perfection simply by the regular execution of the It is up to you to decide which path suits you best. But, do remember that path is dependent on one's nature. Dharma rakshati rak. All duties and resultant actions are to be based on Dharma. Those who protect Dharma and carefully execute their duties according to Dharma, they are protected by Dharma. This is not superstition but is something that we are aware of and practice constantly. While learning how to drive any vehicle, we consciously train our mind to understand and get used to the ways of driving that vehicle. After learning and practicing for some time, even if we are not as conscious as we should be while driving, the mind takes care of it. Similarly, a mind absorbed in Dharma becomes very powerful. Those who constantly practice Dharma, their mind use the power derived from Dharma to protect us when we are weak. Thus, through this simple analogy we can understand that those who protect Dharma, Dharma protects them. Why practice? Are you always motivated? Do you feel a lack of motivation after working regularly? We all need motivation to continue to work. For this much-needed motivation, we rely on the external world. Money, post, power, etc. may motivate those seeking them, but for the short term. Success and praise are big motivational factors. You can't be successful and be praised all the time. People often look for some motivational speakers to get motivated. In today's advanced world, brilliant and promising motivational speakers are just one click away to motivate us. This is not good. It had been clearly explained in some research articles that the human body is capable to fight and prevent many diseases. The external support of medicines to heal those diseases slowly makes our body dependent on those medicines. The body loses its ability to heal itself. Similarly, the human mind, when takes external support to be energetic and motivated, it loses its ability to keep itself energetic and motivated. Motivation coming from inside is the permanent one. We must be motivated from the inside without any external aid. Dharma keeps the person motivated to do any job according to Dharma. It is the permanent motivation. It comes from inside. It teaches the highest principle of non-attachment, to do work for the sake of work only. Dharma brings discipline to life. It minimizes distraction. It builds a strong character. Dharma makes us permanently strong. By following Dharma, every second of life becomes a sacrifice offered into the fire of material existence to make us pure. The pain from sacrifice is rejoiced as both the suffering and the pleasure from Dharma means we are on the right path. Both become one for those practicing Dharma. Duality of life, heat and cold, good and bad, happiness and sorrow, etc., ends. Dharma gives us the power to see the world as one. Dharma is the basis of everlasting peace. Dharma is what makes us superhuman and real. The satisfaction and happiness for which people do all kinds of acts can be achieved in every moment of life spent according to Dharma. What else is required? Dharma is the answer to all miseries of life. And, after living a fully satisfied life, when you leave your body, death will be a satisfying event. Don't you find it interesting? The most feared moments of life become a satisfying one. There had been stories in Mahabharata where by practicing Dharma an ordinary householder got supernatural powers. Thus, it becomes a verified fact that Dharma must be practiced by everyone to realize their full potential. King Dasarath, the father of Lord Ram, was bound by his Kula Dharma to exile his beloved son Ram into the forest for 14 years. Dasaratha's Kula Dharma clashed with Putra Dharma. Lord Ram, upon seeing the condition of his father, himself chose the exile happily, as Kula Dharma is superior to Putra Dharma. Due to Lord Ram's execution of his Putra Dharma, King Dasarath worked according to Dharma. Lord Ram was a warrior by birth and by qualities. It was his Dharma to save and protect the weak. For 14 years in exile, he protected the sages and the weak people from demons. When his wife was kidnapped by a demon named Raven, Lord Ram acted according to Pati Dharma, which guides the duties of a husband towards her wife. Lord Ram took help from Sugriv, his friend. He helped Sugriv in his quest to regain his kingdom by the right means. It is every friend's duty to help her friend according to capacity and Dharma in time of need. This is my tradition. After killing Raven and completing his 14 years as exiled, Lord Ram came back to Ayodhya. Bharat, Lord Ram's brother, carefully looked after the day-to-day business of the kingdom in the absence of Lord Ram. Bharat became a symbol of Brahmadharma. Lord Ram had to leave his wife for the sake of the people of his kingdom. It was Raj Dharma. Lord Ram was Dharma personified. He was God. All the great men and women are great because of Dharma. A man devoid of Dharma is evil. Take it as an exercise and note down some great people who ever walked on earth and analyze the Dharma they lived for and died for. In the end, you will arrive at the conclusion: can ordinary men follow? Dharma is not something reserved for the privileged class. It is for everyone. It had been mentioned earlier by referring to Mahabharata that ordinary people got supernatural powers by acting according to Dharma. A student must do his duties guided by Dharma towards his teacher, father, mother, friends, etc. A citizen of any country must always be ready to make any kind of sacrifice for the motherland. An employee working in an office must be loyal and honest to the company. Corruption is at Dharma. Every corrupt man is evil. He will have to suffer either in the present life or in any to come. Do not do it. And, if you are doing it, please stop it now. Only the coward and the weak take to the path of adharma for the fulfillment of their desires. Adharma lures through easy wakes and the weak are trapped. A penny earned through Dharma is better than billions earned through Adharma. In today's economic-centric world, where from top to bottom and everywhere, everything is driven by the economy, this attitude has become a part of everyone. People commit all sorts of crimes for money. This is not good. There is nothing bad in being money-minded. Be money-minded if you want to be. But never forget that you are earning to live life happily and not to dig a well to hell. Every householder must work very hard to earn a lot of money. But the path must be as shown by Dharma. Countries across the world must produce such citizens. It is the duty of the governments to ensure this through awareness or education or anything. It is only then that the glory of the country will be sung for ages to come and even among those in the higher and lower worlds.